Welcome, everyone, to Hope Makes It Happen Financial Fridays. My name is Alex D. Williams, and I'm going to be the host of this conversation. I'm with the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, but I'm very excited to be here with our partner, Hope Credit Union, as they are going to be bringing financial tips, increase awareness, and provide resources to HBCU campuses and communities through this wonderful Hope Makes It Happen Financial Fridays segment. This segment is going to air every third Friday of the month, and it's going to run on HBCU Plus, the GCAC Network, Channel O2, and also the Hope digital platforms as well. So we hope that you all tuned into our last month's conversation, and we are back again this month with another engaging conversation. And so today we have Hope Credit Union's representative, Ms. Lizette Moody. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So if you don't mind, just telling the people a little bit about yourself and what you do with Hope Credit Union.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Alex, again. My name is Lizette Moody. I'm the mortgage loan officer here for Hope Credit Union. I represent the Alabama market, part of the Deep South. And I have been here since 2019. I've been in the mortgage business for almost 20 years, and I've been in finance for over 35 years. So I feel like just interacting and helping people achieve their American dream, be it opening an account or financing a car. I've worked in all facets of banking. So that's who I am, and that's where I'm still at Hope.
Yeah, a very knowledgeable guest, and we're very excited to have you on for today. And so, as we kind of dive right in, we know that the racial disparities in financial service access, particularly in the South, remain far too wide. And so, especially with regarding the mortgage service access as well, which you're here to talk about. So, Lizette, if you don't mind just giving us some numbers across the Deep South and those statistics as well of what's really been going on.
Sure, Alex. So 70% of home ownership is owned by white Americans, opposed to about 49%. Since 2011, home ownership for African Americans has only increased less than 1%. So that's what Hope is initiative, or expanding the mortgage gap. That's what we're here trying to do, trying to close that mortgage gap between the Blacks and white and Hispanic and Asian Americans. Even those ethnicities are above African American ownership. So that's why we're here. The stats proven itself. And so that's what our initiative is about, to close that gap of inequity and disparities, because a lot of our African Americans doesn't have that opportunity. Even if you're an African American making $150,000, they have been denied at rates a lot more than the white Americans. So we're trying to get that underserved community being not getting approved for a mortgage, trying to close that gap. So those are just some of the stats here. And again, we're not just, as I represent Alabama, we're across Mississippi,
Yes.
Arkansas, Tennessee, and Louisiana. So we're going abroad to spread this message that home ownership is attainable.
Yeah. And thank you for providing those statistics, because I know sometimes we hear them, but we don't really process them. And it's really important, that our students and those in the community understand them as well. So as we kind of move into this conversation, one of the first things I want to ask you about are the pros and cons of owning versus renting. I know you brought up mortgage and home access as well.
Yes. When you rent, typically you're paying the landlord, and sometimes you're not getting anything for that money. Okay. You can't make improvements. It's hardly to get someone to come and help do the repairs. So when you rent, your rent keep going up, but you're not getting anything for it. With the home ownership, you can get tangible and intangible benefits. The tangible benefits is that you can have tax benefits towards your taxes every year. That's one of the intangible. The intangible is that you're owning your own home with that pride that sometimes this is first time generations just owning a home. Yeah. And so you have your own driveway. You have that comfort of knowing that I am on my deed. And then also the main thing that we're trying to do is build generational wealth. Mm-hmm. So when you build that generational wealth, so you're leaving that home, hopefully, to your children and your grandchildren and your great-grand and on and on. And so those are some of the pros or cons of obtaining homeownership.
Yeah. Yeah, and how does one know, that they're ready for the responsibilities of home ownership? Because, once you buy a home, it's no more I'm calling the maintenance guy upstairs to come and help me. You kind of have to do that work yourself as well.
Well, you're some are ready more so than they think they are.
Mhm.
We always encourage you to, we're talking about checking credit scores and things of that nature. But if you've been paying rent on time, you can pay a mortgage on time. So you're basically ready in that aspect. But if you're ready to really go to that next level, some of the background things that you need to do is check those credit scores to make sure. And that's not a major factor, but just making sure that you're at the minimum, whichever lender you choose. Look at your credit to see how much credit you've obtained and opened for 12 months. You also look at anything that you may have derogatory on your credit as we talk about that you may want to go ahead and get off your credit. So those are the things those are the key points. There's a lot of other things to prepare yourself for home readiness, but those are the key points that we try to hone in to make sure that you're ready.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought up credit score. We had in our first conversation with Ms. Kimberly Lee and Jossier Williams just about credit scores and how you can kind of find that out as college students, because I know sometimes you don't really understand those things. But, asking you, how does credit score really impact your ability to buy, and also reviewing the reports from all the credit bureaus as well? How does that help you and your assistants in buying these homes?
Well, your credit score, it's a number. It's a
Mhm.
number. It's just a metric that we use for a minimum qualification. But I'm proud to say at Hope, even during the tumultuous time of the COVID and the pandemic, 3 years ago, we were still at a credit score of 580. Which is lower if you check with lenders. I mean, that was unheard of. Where other lenders were increasing their scores because of the risk with doing to people being laid off due to this pandemic or losing jobs or whatever the situation may have been. Hope remained at that 580, 580 with no collections for less than $5,000 for the medical collections, things of that nature. So we've always tried to make it work. So when you're talking about a 580, that's a lot of people thinking because they've heard 620, 640. That's all you need is a 580. Even if you're
Yeah.
not ready at a 580, we're going to give you that path forward as to what do you need to get there. And we have other products across our footprint and with our services that can help you build towards homeownership. So you can't get any better than 580. We really you can't. We're That's where we're getting our 93% home ownership from, going back to stacks.
Yeah.
90% women. So we're just building. Those are things, a key score that you need to hone in on is maybe a 580 or better. And really, again, that's just a metric. But sometimes, even if we have other what we call mitigating factors, that other things it may meet our criteria, you may not be at a 580. So let's just see, it could be a less in what I'm talking about. It may be less than a 580. You just have to go to your lender, preferably Hope, and let's see how we can make it work.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing those tips and those providing those statistics as well, especially about women. We always love to hear that. But we are going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be back, just talking about how much you can afford for your home. And we hope that you all have enjoyed this conversation thus far.
Check the one with the two. Use my fingers.
You're correct.
We both work so hard to give our little girl everything she needs. We've been saving up. It's time for something more.
What are we doing?
A home of our own.
They turned you away, pointing to what held you back instead of showing you the way to get there. But you kept trying.
They inspire me to do better, to reach for more, and get the help we need.
Hope makes it happen. With dedicated programs for first-time homebuyers and personal guidance, Hope Credit Union builds paths to home ownership for thousands of neighbors across the Deep South. We can help you too, no matter your income or credit. Brighter futures begin with Hope.
Well, we hope that you all are enjoying this conversation thus far. I know I definitely am. And so, as we continue this conversation, Ms. Moody, I want to ask you, how much home can one person afford? And are there any down payment assistance programs available to help people in this time?
Yes, yes. So at Hope, we have a lot of down payment assistance. It's amazing, and you just have to apply to see what you're eligible for. But the to know how much money to what you're qualified for, always speak to the lender and let them pre-qualify you. Only thing we're doing is we're taking your particular debts that's been reported to the credit bureaus, and we call that traditional trades. Okay, traditional trades that's reported to the credit bureaus, divide that into your gross income, and then we can see how much your housing payment could be. It's we have a mortgage calculator on our website, not only on Hopes, but if you have access to any mortgage calculator, you can just go in and see, put in your gross income, even with overtime and bonuses, just to see how much you can qualify for. We qualify you for the max. But I like to tell my constituents and my borrowers now, I'm going to qualify you on your gross income, but you must remember you pay out of your net income. So even though we give you that high threshold, just remember that after we have groceries and daycare, Social Security, and everything else, what do you have left over that you want to pay? And so I always start with my potential borrowers. Hey, how much are you comfortable with paying? Because where you're paying rent now, if you're comfortable with that, I may qualify for you for the same amount, but now you're going to have homeowners insurance and you're going to have the property taxes included into that payment. So how much do you want to go to? So it's always with me. What's your comfort level? I always try to get you that threshold so you can go out and look and find something that you want, that you may be willing to sacrifice to pay a little bit more. But it's really definitely on your comfort level. And let us see if we can qualify you on paper based on that comfort level.
Yeah, definitely. Great information. And the next thing I want to ask you about, I know you mentioned lenders earlier. And so how do lenders evaluate someone's mortgage readiness?
Well, we look at you again, we look at your overall credit profile.
Mm-hmm.
So we look at on-time payment history. We look at how much debt you have. On-time payment history, typically good within 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we don't have that's traditional credit. Traditional credit is just like an auto loan or a secured loan or credit card that's reported to the credit bureaus. Here at Hope, we use non-traditional credit as well. So if you don't have that, and the traditional, non-traditional is like verification of rent, utility bills, an internet bill. As long as you have 12 months of on-time payments, we can typically assess that as well. Your power bill, water bill. So those are some of the things that the lenders are looking at. We also look at debt to income. Now, the debt to income is what we're talking about, opposed to your current liabilities, along with a proposed housing payment to divide into your gross monthly income to come up with the debt to income. Here at Hope, we try not to exceed 42% on our affordable home program. And our affordable home program, while I'm thinking about it, it's great. Again, it's the 580 credit score, no down payment up to a certain amount, no private mortgage insurance. That private mortgage insurance is typically an additional component of your mortgage payment that you're responsible for paying, but it protects the lender in case of default. So we don't have that on our affordable home program. And also we can incorporate that down payment assistance. I've had up to $22,000 in down payment assistance before, meaning that we can layer it. So if you're looking for $100,000 house, you only have to pay $78,000. And typically it's forgivable after 5 to 10 years. So wherever way we could do to make it work, as you can see, we have a lot of opportunities here, and we're excited to get those people that want to be in a home. That's all you have to do is have a desire to be in a home, and we're helping you get there.
Yeah, well, hopefully those that are listening and they understand and they see all the programs, assistant programs that Hope is providing, they, take you up on that offer just saying. It sounds like a really wonderful Really wonderful thing. And so one of the last things I want to ask you and talk to you about is, what if you're not a first-time home buyer or you're not interested in purchasing a second home or investment property? But what if you want to purchase your first home investment property, and what are the options for all of these things?
Oh, yeah, just still come. We can still use our affordable home program with investment property. Proud to say that you don't have to put down the 20%. Most people know 15 to 20% on other mortgage products. Here, you can still use it with 10% down on investment property, okay? 10% down with a 39% max DTI. A second home, as long as typically if it's a 50 to 100-mile radius, you can purchase a second home using our same affordable home program. You don't have, even if you're a first time home buyer and you're thinking about investment down the road, sure, we can use this as long as you qualify. So there's other options. We do offer FHA. A lot of people come to us, and because that's the only thing that's known out there when they don't have this amazing affordable product that Hope offers. Okay, so they thinking, okay, we need FHA. Do y'all offer that? Yes, but we have something better than FHA. We have an affordable home program, no down payment, and all my other good spills. So FHA, conventional, all of those, we do offer that, and hopefully we're going to expand our mortgage products in the future. But those are what we have now, and for those particular products are working. So if we cannot get you in the home affordable product, we do have other options with the FHA, but that's our biggest tool right now.
Yeah, you all do have a secret weapon, if you want to call it that
We
can,
do.
really assist and help everyone.
Right, exactly. And I pride myself because again, we people, I've in my business, I finance first cars, and then I've had people to come and I finance their first home. So we're proud to say, hey, we have that reputation of
Right.
helping others. And again, even if you're not mortgage ready, just come and talk to us and let us see what can we help you do. If you want to help and want to put a little skin in the game, we're ready to help you get there.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you mentioned others. We're going to show a quick video, a member's story, and just in discovering this transformative power of Hope Credit Union and changing lives. Annie Wallace's story, in particular, of owning a home, is an important tool for wealth building. Yet, home ownership can seem like an out-of-reach goal for many families. And so, in Mortgage Loans from Hope, designed specifically for low-income buyers and those with less than perfect credit, make the dream of home ownership a reality. So, we're going to show her membership video here for a second.
In 2008, the stock market crashed, and I just found myself like, what am I going to do? And so for a while, it was just really, really hard. And I had a friend that lived in Memphis, and she said, you should move to Memphis. At that time, Memphis represented hope. I started working in the insurance industry. My checks and everything was being deposited in Illinois. And so I would go to Hope to be able to cash my checks. And so what happened is that they eventually said, well, why don't you just get an account with us? They made me feel like, hey, you're one of us now. You don't need to be cashing your checks, from Illinois. Put your money here at Hope. They just asked me different questions. What do you want to do? And they said, well, do you want your own home? I said, well, yes. They work with me in terms of different first-time home buyer money that's available. And next thing I know, I was there filling out the paperwork, and the process truly was less than a year with me going through the workshops. It's a rewarding feeling when you're able to hold up a sign that says sold, and then hold up keys and say, oh my God, this is really mine. And I walk in this door every day thanking God that I have this home, and I thank God that He has put Hope Credit Union in my path. Hope gave me the freedom of being a home buyer. Hope gave me freedom to know that when things go wrong, they're still there for me. They're just a phone call away.
Hope Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Hope makes it happen. Join us today. Brighter futures begin with hope. We're located in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Tennessee.
And we hope that you all did enjoy seeing that member video as well of Miss Annie Wallace and her story. But we, want to wrap up this conversation. I want to thank you for joining us for our guest for this second episode of Hope Makes It Happen Financial Fridays. It's been a really wonderful and engaging conversation. I know I learned a lot in terms of home ownership and learning that secret weapon that you all have, to help those as well. So thank you so much for joining us today, Ms. Lizette Moody.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I enjoyed being with you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, this was the second episode of Hope Makes It Happen Financial Fridays, which is really an engaging conversation that our partner Hope Credit Union has been doing. And, this show is going to air every third Friday of the month on HBCU Plus, the GCAC Network, Channel 02, but also on the Hope Credit Union digital platforms as well. So make sure to stay tuned for our next episode that will be airing next month. And if you miss anything, you can also visit the on-demand channel for HBCU Plus and not only see this episode, but the episode that had Miss Kimberly Lee and Josier Williams as well. And my name was Alex D. Williams. I'm with the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. I was your host for today, and we hope that you all enjoyed this conversation and stay tuned with us for next time.